Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Lane. Where was everybody in the auditorium?
There were some audio issues there yesterday when I was doing WPCA, so I don't know if they're having audio issues again.
Hi, Nina.
Hey, Jenny. Hey, Elaine.
Guys, I'm here. That's all that matters, right?
Oh, Matt, you made my night.
We don't need City Hall. What are we talking about? You're just do with us, you know?
What time do you think you'll get home tonight?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, well, here's the thing. We don't have to stay for the public hearings, so I can leave whenever. Now, granted, like, I just end up doing a lot of my own stuff and then I'm here at all hours, but
Yeah.
it's fun. I mean, fun's a word to describe it, but when people come in, it's different. It's the building's lively, so
Yeah.
you can either embrace it or you can hide, and I choose to embrace it.
Good. The more exposure you get, the better.
Just try and avoid like there's all the news cameras and all the people. Like there was Aaron Stewart was given like interviews today, and I was like, I'm not gonna be behind this. I'm gonna go in front and walk around, and it's like a maze. And the kids, Ginny, all the kids around, and it's like great. I'm so glad they're here, but also they're crawling on the floor, and I accidentally kick them, and I don't mean to kick them. I just don't see them. It's so bad.
I guess that's where the name Rugrat came from.
Right? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah,
that's my.
That would be a big field trip today to go to the.
Okay. Children is on.
Am I entertaining the auditorium?
Oh, turn it. Oh, jeez. So Alexandra,
Yes.
I did not get 2506. I got a bunch of other ones.
Right now.
You're gonna send now? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right. You're all set.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Cristiano. I'm the chairman of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Wednesday, March 11th. Tonight's meeting is a regular meeting being held in the City Hall Auditorium. with virtual access via Zoom and YouTube Live. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:03 PM. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to
Allegiance
the
to the
flag of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right.
Thank you. Ms. Castro, would you please conduct the roll call?
Commissioner Cristiano,
Present?
Commissioner Kelly,
Present.
Commissioner Harder,
Here,
Commissioner Motto,
Here,
Commissioner Tiki is out, Commissioner Apple,
Here.
alternate Commissioner McGee,
Here.
alternate Commissioner Bertola. Present. Do seated. Myself, Alexandria Castro, Assistant Administrator. Dominic DeGangi, Professional Engineer.
Here.
Ron Baya, Zoning Enforcement Officer.
Here.
Ava Martino, Land Use Assistant. Here. Stephanie Charbonneau, Stenographer.
Present.
Nina Sonsini, our Recording Secretary.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner McGee, you'll be seated in lieu of Commissioner Tiki as he is not here tonight.
So acknowledged.
So the first item we have tonight on the agenda is the public comment. On tonight's agenda, any member of the public wishing to discuss an item that is not on tonight's agenda may do so at this time. If there's anyone in the auditorium, please sign on the speaker sheet. Those on Zoom may use the raise your hand feature or dial *9 on your phone. All speakers have up to 5 minutes. Please state your name clearly for the record. Ms. Castro, is there anyone who in the auditorium has signed up?
No.
No. Is there anyone online with their hand raised or *9?
No.
Okay. Last call for anyone wishing to comment during the public portion. Okay, having no requests for public comment, we'll move on to our next business. It will be our report from our zoning enforcement officer. We're presenting the zoning enforcement report. Officer Ron Baya will be doing this tonight. Mr. Baya, will you proceed?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Everyone has a copy, right? Even in the cube, you guys in the box?
Oh, no,
Okay.
let me get it up here. So
Just 1 minute, we'll pull it up on the screen.
Case you missed it, I finished, and thank you and have a good night.
Your report.
Here it is.
Okay, Mr. By.
All right, so if we're gonna go to the first page, not the cover sheet, but this is the report for the zoning enforcement officer for the last year. I'm not gonna, I'll hit the highlight on this first one because everyone knows these are the different departments and what the online permitting process is. I will touch on the bottom one because it is something that's new that will be going live this summer, which is the city reporting. We'll be implementing that online to the portal for residents who are concerned about city buildings, parks, roadways, and any other general concerns. We anticipate that going live this summer, so that's going to be another asset for OpenGov. So everything else is pretty simple. The next page, which is certificate of compliance processed. I reserve most of my morning hours, typically till about 11 to 11:30 a.m. for people who walk in, permitting questions about projects, anything that they're looking to do on their particular house, any complaints and so forth and so on. Below are the following numbers that we've done in the last year, since last March of 2025. We've done 46 attached additions, 62 detached structures, garage, sheds, and barns, 36 pools above and in ground, business occupancies, home office DBAs, which are generally done by Ms. Castro, 165, 7 in-laws, 47 signs, deck, whether new alterations or repairs, 45, new houses, 28, commercial, new, renovating, or additions, 95, total of 531 COCs processed through OpenGov during this period. That amount of COCs we've processed has increased by 95 since the last report. The next page is complaints. These are zoning complaints that come through OpenGov. They're logged in, assigned to me. My process is generally to review them, make an initial visit. A lot of times on the first 1 or 2 visits, we can gain compliance. If I don't catch the homeowner or property owner at home, I'll generally leave an orange door tag, which initiates contact, and I generally can work most of the time things out before sending a letter. I'm pretty good about, one of my pet peeves is follow-up visits. I like to prod. I think if you prod enough, they'll understand that you're not going to go away and you'll get compliance. If I have to work with other departments, whether it's building, engineering, police, fire marshal, we do that and we coordinate that as well. Record keeping, our complaints are not public, but staff can access the notes, the comments, and we also add photos as needed to the files. We've resolved 46 complaints since last March of 2025, and I only have currently 3 open complaints at the moment, and 2 of the 3 are weather related, where things that I need to address were covered by the snow, which is now melting, which I should be able to soon address. Another important part of this job, which is another hat that we wear, site monitoring. Over the last year, we've continued to do regular site visits, construction sites, soil and erosion control, to make sure that what the approved plan is kept that way and lines up with what they were approved for and don't deviate from it. We respond promptly to complaints from residents, commissioners, mayor's office, etc. And we work with property owners to resolve the violations. Prohibited ground signs, as you know, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, whether they're on the ground or on poles. I like to keep it as clean as possible. I live in Newtown, and I have to say Newtown looks awful, but that's another story. But I like it to look as clean as possible. I think it's a big thing for us when people come to Shelton they say, hey, you know what? We don't see this in our town. I hope that it's made a difference. So, we've done site plans, we've increased to try to strengthen the overall project oversight. We're engaging with applicants a little more towards compliance from the start and try to be a little more proactive with that rather than reactive. The final page is our active sites that were approved through the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm not going to go down all of them. Obviously, I think you guys are pretty well aware of the active sites. That's basically my report. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, looks very good. I would say I was surprised at the number of signs because I would have thought it was about 500 that we went through.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking ground signs. I probably have. It could be 500 to 1,000 for the entire
Oh,
year.
no, I don't mean, I mean the regular business signs that we approve.
Okay, I
On
got you.
page 1 there, I thought 47, it felt like a lot more. I have to say. Yeah,
Right,
well, thanks for the ground signs, though.
no problem. Anybody else?
Let's
Speak
start,
to you.
Mr. Baya. Thank you for your time and energy.
Thank you, Ms. Harger. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. and
Okay,
notes.
thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
So our next order of business is applications for certificate of zoning compliance. Commissioner Motto, I understand that the sign committee has met. What is the recommendation for items 1 through 3 on the agenda?
Yeah, I think we're recommending approval for all of them. We did have a question on the second sign in terms of the size relative to the storefront, and Ava did check that again for us, and it's all within the regs. So I think as a subcommittee, we all agreed that there were no issues with any of those signs.
Excellent, thank you. In lieu of that, all those in favor of approving the sign applications as recommended by the subcommittee, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 6-0. Next order of business is our public hearing. We just go over some protocol for the public hearing. Ms. Castro will indicate if there are any written comments received in the last 24 hours before this meeting that have not yet been added to the file. The applicant will present and the commission may ask questions during or after. Public comments follows. In-person speakers who have signed the speaker sheet, then participants who use the raise your hand feature or dial *9. Each speaker has 5 minutes. Comments should address zoning criteria and the merits of the application, not repeat prior testimony if possible. Comments should be directed to the commission, not the applicant. Speakers shall maintain appropriate demeanor. Any disruptive attendees may be removed. The applicant may respond after all public comments are heard. If further information is needed, the chair will ask for a motion to continue. If an application remains open, the commission cannot discuss it publicly or receive additional information. Once all questions are addressed, the hearing will close. The commission may deliberate immediately or at a future meeting. The first public hearing or the only public hearing for this evening is application 2606, Dominic Thomas for TJT Capital Investments LLC for a text amendment to Article 24, Schedule A, permitted uses, lines 16A and 41, descriptions and use codes for office park district OPT zones. Normally, we have Commissioner Amato read the legal notice, but she does not have it. Ms. Castro, will you please read the legal notice?
Yes, I apologize. My email's not loading to send over. The Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Shelton, Connecticut hereby gives notice of a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the auditorium of Shelton City Hall, 54 Hill Street, Shelton, and via Zoom to consider the following. Initiation of application 2606 Dominic Thomas for TJT Capital Investments LLC for an amendment to the Shelton Planning and Zoning Regulations, Article 24, Schedule A, permitted uses, line 16A and 41, to amend the descriptions and use codes for both lines within Office Park District zones.
Thank you. Ms. Castro, will you please read the exhibits and confirm if any additional submissions were received for the record?
The exhibit in this application is the application with the text amendment changes
Any additional,
and the zone map.
anything additional received?
That's all.
Okay. Attorney Thomas, will you proceed?
Very much. For the Dominic Thomas, Dominic Thomas, 350 Main Street, representing the applicant. I don't think I've been admitted as I'm going to screen share as a panelist. Before I go into the screen sharing. To give a little background on the basis of this application. The basis of this application is I represent TJT Capital Investors, and they purchased the 375 Bridgeport Avenue office building, which has the Webster Bank in it. That building was constructed when that was a commercial zone in the mid 1980s. In the mid to late 1990s, there was a concern with the commission at the time and Panico that there were too many of the smaller commercial zones along Bridgeport Avenue. And at that time, it was proposed a zone called Office Park District, OPD, was proposed. And the reason was, very frankly, to limit the uses very restrictively. It was actually only about 8 uses. And I believe, and this is my belief, that the motivation was to encourage people to file PDDs. But also they wanted to discourage your more commercial operations, restaurants, and other things like that, without the control of a PDD. So when that was proposed, the property owners were up in arms. Two of the largest property owners hired me at the time. And we hired, through them, we hired engineers and a planner to show that the amount of Office Park District would be completely unrealistic. So they passed it, but they limited it. They took it away. For example, to give you an example, the large 121 acre piece was going to be zoned Office Park District, the one that's with Shelter Ridge. And your PDD 111, that large parcel, was going to be Office Park District. And those people objected to it. So they finally went through and they chose certain parcels and they laid Office Park District on them. I don't believe that there was any application ever to develop something as Office Park District, because a lot of the parcels, as I will show you, already had development on them. So, hopefully it will come up on the screen. I passed out to the commissioners here a paper copy of the map, and the purpose of this is your zone map, nothing, but I identified the Office Park parcels. I don't know, can I make the screen bigger for the people at home, or do
That's, ours is a little shrunk,
and I
but
made it easier for me. If you don't mind, can I sit down and while I went over this? Um. Hopefully that will try to. So, I just wanted to point out the parcels that were eventually made office park district, and I will try to explain. So beginning at Lower Bridgeport Avenue, the two parcels, the first two parcels that were pointed out and Lower Bridgeport Avenue, right across from the car dealers, were basically two rock outcroppings next to what was then a medical office building. And they were eventually sold, purchased from the state of Connecticut by Curtis Ryan, and they store cars there, if you recall. Then the other two, they put it over the then AT&T service building, which is now a Frontier service building. And then 375 is the other building, which at that point had been in existence since the mid-80s. We're talking about 1999, this is taking place. And one of the interesting points and why we're filing this is because in there were medical offices, and medical offices were not permitted use under the OPD district. But there were medical offices in there at the time and some other uses that were not related to the very limited uses of the OPD district. And then what you have to do is you have to scroll all the way down to there is an OPD parcel right off of Route 8 next to LIP, next to PDD 1A. There's another parcel, large parcel on Bridgeport Avenue, which is the Perkin-Elmer site. That was at that time, I think that was still Phillips Medical a site. And again, there was a large building already on there. And they put it on there, and frankly, the minute they put it on, the property became pre-existing legal non-conforming because of the size of the building. Going farther down, the OPD parcels, you have an OPD parcel that is the Bank of America building. Now, what is interesting about the Bank of America building, which existed, this is the one that's right across from Staples. And what's interesting about that is daycares that serve the public are not allowed. That, at that point, when it was done, it had one of the largest daycares that was servicing the public in there that still operates today. Then you go farther down, and parcels that were OPD are one of them that was OPD, which was the Image Graphics building, is now a PDD for the self-storage that was changed out of OPD, and Iroquois Gas. The Iroquois Gas property is OPD. And you're maybe shaking your head going, what are the reasoning for all of that? Because these were existing properties. But it had very limited, one of the reasons for it was basically, if you were gonna change these properties, we wanted you to come in with a PDD. And so they chose that over these old office buildings. And the second handout that I gave to you is a copy of your Schedule A, very simply. And as I put in the notes, and you wouldn't have to scroll all the way through, the OPD uses, if you eliminate city of Shelton uses, which are allowed, public utility uses, and uses accessory to the permitted use. That is, let's say, a fitness center or a daycare, it had to be accessory to the permitted use. In other words, for the occupants of the office building. And this was the result of the fact that you had Richardson Vicks, you had Bob Sinto's buildings that at that point had daycares in it available for they were only available for the tenants at the time. So they were sort of mimicking what was and even cafeterias. I mean, there was a cafeteria would be allowed, and food service would be allowed, if it was only for the tenants. Part of that was, if any of you, Charlie's probably close to my age, if you ever had the great opportunity to get invited to the Richardson Ditch Building and go to their cafeteria, which was the equivalent of a 5-star Michelin restaurant. And at that time, but that was, they were trying to mimic. So the limit, they're very, very limited. My proposal is directed for the benefit of my client, obviously. And so I made 2 suggested changes. One of the suggested changes is in the medical field, the medical area, excuse me, I got the application out.
No.
In the area of medical use, which is line, although the first one actually is line 16A. And what I did there was simply insert the words on full service and limited service fitness centers open to the general public and made it a permitted use. The purpose of that is that one of the possible tenants that might go into the building or any other building is a Pilates studio. And a Pilates and yoga studios would not be considered full service fitness centers. But fitness centers are a good fit to occupy space in the office buildings that exist. And in the OPD zone, at this point, although I think this commission should at some point take a look at the zone as a whole and whether or not those properties should be rezoned. For the purposes right now, I think that's a reasonable change to the uses to allow some flexibility for the office buildings that are, and those buildings, including the Perkin-Elmer building, that are in the OPT zone, so they would have a use that would be possibly permitted. They don't occupy the space, and I think it would be beneficial as a whole to even the other office buildings that were zoned that way, the other buildings that were zoned. The second one, and is it more significant, is they did not include number 41, medical and dental clinics. That was an X. So I added the words and offices and related services and put in P again. What is it in the case, so you know what I'm talking about? This is a life skills center for autistic children and adults. In other words, they're taught life skills and everything like that. So it's medically related because obviously mental health and physical health are combined when you're talking about autistic issues. And but it's a related service. You're not treating them physically. What you're doing is you're teaching them life skills and the ability to go out. So they're 2 relatively low impact uses, low impact in any traffic or anything like that. And they could benefit going into some of the office buildings that are in the OPD, although right now, frankly, there are really only 2 office buildings that are in OPD, the Perkin-Elmer building and this one. The rest, Iroquois Gas, I mean, if it ever became an office, and I don't think you're gonna see the Frontier building, but turning into an office building. So with that, I'll answer any questions about it. I think it's a very low impact text change that would benefit those people that are in the OPD zone.
Attorney Thomas, I have a question.
Yes,
In line 16A, limited services can be open to interpretation as well as on line, the other line, 41, related services. I think that's could be problematic.
well,
So
I think
they need to be more defined.
well, the limited services provision, I was contrasting it to the full service fitness center. The full service fitness center, I'm not sure if it is, I think it is defined, but it encompasses a lot of the uses. I mean, certainly on more welcoming, it's because it's limited service fitness centers, not limited service. It's gotta be a limited service fitness center.
Yeah,
That
I
limited services
understand
is
completely, but it's just a matter that I think it could be today it could mean one thing because the way you're presenting it, another applicant down the road may feel, oh, mine fits into that. Well, what's the definition of it though?
Yeah, I think that's true. Also, it seems you're gearing this to particular tenants, and maybe we should be looking at it more generally in terms of.
Yeah, well, I intended it to be more generally. I think your definitions in your definitions, I think you do have a definition for fitness center. I don't have the, which includes a lot of uses. The point is that the implication of the fitness center is that it provides all those services, such as weights, exercises, this is something that are mainly classes. I don't know how you would, in other words, it is a fitness center. So it's gotta have a fitness purpose. I don't think it's, I think the commission is the one with the discretion to define it when the thing comes before it, and I don't know, Alexander, I don't have my, definition. Is there, I think in Article 5?
514 definition of fitness center is full service is defined to mean a fitness center serving the general public, whether on a daily basis or by membership, and providing a range of services for physical fitness and sports training, including bodybuilding and aerobic activities, classes for yoga, Pilates, and martial arts. Such facilities may also include as accessory to the fitness and training purposes, tanning booths, sauna rooms, steam booths, non-alcoholic health drinks, and related health foods, retail sale of nutritional supplements, gym clothing and various gym gear, and childcare services. A massage establishment as defined in the City of Shelton ordinances shall not be considered a fitness center as herein described. Any massage services, if included, must be clearly accessory to an insignificant component of the fitness and training center. I'm checking if there's anything else.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question to Attorney Tom.
Yes.
My understanding is you're looking to have line 16A be a permitted use, a special exception,
Permitted use.
a permitted use. So an of right
Right,
use
Yes.
in the OPDs.
in the OPD district.
Right. I got that. Now, please explain to me again how 41 is gonna fit in there, because 41 says that it's medical and dental clinics.
Right.
Are you amending that line to read something different?
Well, I get the word in offices, I don't know why, really, it should be offices as opposed to clinics. Clinics are a defined thing, and if you take out the words offices and related services, you could take. Again, part of it is that this commission has the right to interpret, and I think yet you want it limited. But my whole point is there are already medical offices.
There's a dental practice in that building,
And
and it has been for 25 or 30
and a
years.
podiatrist
Right.
in that
So-
building.
To Alexandria, if I might, do we differentiate between the word clinic and the word office?
I read it that way. Most of the time, I'll have to tell them I'll find a accessory use of the office somehow.
So the dental practice that currently exists in that building is in technical violation of our regulation because it's not allowed anyway, right?
It's
Well, no, it's a
pre-existing.
pre.
I understand it's pre-existing,
Yeah.
but if the change was made and the word clinic remains,
They would be in
we,
compliance.
they would be in compliance?
Yeah,
Because a clinic and an office are the same thing or they're different things?
he's adding in the.
I'm not asking what he's adding. I'm just saying if we don't change the verbiage,
They would not be in compliance.
they would not be in compliance. My concern is that you change the verbiage and you've got other zones that are going to be affected. Do we want to do that? For example, dental clinics are allowed in 1B, IB1s, IB2s, RFDs, CB2s. So are we at this point clarifying our regulations?
Yes,
So the word clinic would go away and the word office would replace it, and that would be better off.
you have, yeah, you don't have the red on here, so can you bring it up on your screen?
I don't have the one with the that was my
Okay,
own fault.
I'll get it up.
I'm just
I
trying to
did
make
not
sure
wanna
we're not
change-
making three other
I
problems.
did not want to change the word clinic. I don't know what the difference is between a clinic and a medical office, because I'm not aware of anyone where, I mean, unless you're gonna use, like, for instance, and say that, what do you call, urgent care is just a clinic. There's no quote unquote doctor's office there. You know, I mean, to do it. Today, I was at my doctor's appointment for my kidney doctor, and he has treatment rooms, he has his office, he has, you know, I don't know how you would describe it as whether it's a clinic.
I was just trying to find out if we have a
Just change
difference.
a word to provider, medical and dental providers.
I have no problem with that.
Bogged
with that.
down on.
I mean, I certainly think that the tenant that's in question here wouldn't qualify as a,
Can you stop sharing your
okay,
screen?
excuse me?
Can you stop sharing?
Oh,
your
yes.
screen?
I think that's a good suggestion from Commissioner Motto.
Thank you.
So we have therapists in that office. They're not necessarily a clinic or social workers. They're not a clinic. They are a medical office. So
That's
this,
a little hard to read it sideways.
I can't turn it, I'm sorry.
Right.
So this would be beneficial to reviewing it that way, where you can have the medical office. This would bring the therapists and the social workers.
So,
that-
so if the word clinic was dropped and the word provider was substituted, that would help you in other areas.
That would make some of the businesses not compliant that do have a clinic. We would benefit from having clinic and offices.
So you want to add the word offices or provider and leave clinic.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
how the way he has it worded, I'm so sorry that I can't figure out how to.
Well, when you call it online, you can't see it, so.
It's a medical and dental clinic and offices and related services.
Okay by me.
Yeah, it's, okay, so that, and that'll clean up some other issues for you elsewhere,
Right.
which is fine.
Keep in mind that with respect to 375, for example, in 1985 or 87, when it was done, those zones were either CB1 or CB2, so they were they were permitted by site plan at that point.
Yeah.
Seeing that this would be a permitted use, we would not have a new tenant come before the commission.
Correct.
Attorney Thomas, you talked about the commission would have discretion. We won't. It would be a sign off by the staff.
Correct, that would be the intent.
Your staff would handle the use.
Staff would,
so
staff would handle the initial screening if there's some sort of application that's a question, the staff would present that.
But we could solve that issue if
To
we
the-
wanted to make it an exception rather than a permitted use. And that would make everybody come before the commission.
It's not my recommendation to bring every application. It's not my recommendation to bring every application before this commission. This is a matter of.
Can I ask a question? I want to ask a question about that. The thing we're always concerned about, and especially I think with medical, is parking. So as part of the staff review, would they be looking at those businesses in terms of those square foot requirements for parking? Is that just part of your normal process for looking at a new business application?
I think,
In a permitted use, the staff would be advised the size of the office. And the
Yeah.
type of this, if they determine that the proposed use was a question, or that the potential for parking was an issue, they can bring it before the commission. Just because something is it isn't prohibited from being before the commission, it's just that if it meets all the standards, staff has discretion of approving. The
correct,
next level is S, which is site plan, but that is usually applicable when you're building, you know, when they're coming in. And then the next one is special exception, which requires a public hearing, which would be a little bit for some of these, for somebody who comes in for a dental clinic, you know what I mean, and a dental office, or somebody comes in for a Pilates studio or a yoga studio somewhere to go to a special, public hearing, we deal with that.
Mr. Chairman, just a further comment.
Sure.
A quick review though of OPDs. We don't have a single line item that's permitted.
Right.
They're all S's or X's or E's.
Yeah.
So I think creating two that are automatically permitted kind of goes against what was already designed for that district.
Well, that's,
So maybe we do a site plan review.
well, but this is a change of what we should be looking at. Leaving things the way they've been is partly the problem of what this.
Right, but to Elaine's point, the parking issue is not gonna be reviewed by anybody.
It is.
Staff,
Or
the park,
I'm
the parking is
asking,
reviewed.
but
The parking is reviewed by staff. They have to take all these things into account. The reality of it is that we see this every single application that comes in. Parking, although we wanna consider parking isn't a major factor for this commission anymore. That's evident in every application that comes before us. Okay, we consider parking, but we have yet to stop any project.
You're a new chairman, you can change that.
Yeah.
Well, it's,
All
Mhm.
right, I'm just asking how what the process is for looking at an occupancy like that, that's all,
But-
so.
Attorney Thomas, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out to you, in the reality, the staff always, when anybody comes in, has the right to look at whether or not you have sufficient parking on the site for the
Yeah.
proposed use. Permitted use still requires you to have a statement of use and explain it.
Right.
In reality, as to the OPD district, there are only two office buildings that exist in the OPD district now, unless somebody's gonna build one on one of the properties. And that is Perkin-Elmer and 375. Both of them are completely overparked. You know, and totally overparked. So, but even with that, the commission would have to look at, are you gonna have parking? Are you gonna have sufficient access and everything like that? Those are questions on that site. So, for example, if someone came in and said, we're gonna put a medical clinic in the Perkin-Elmer building, and yes, we're gonna provide them parking at the end of the row here and everything, because we don't have any parking up close, the staff could question that, based on their use and based on the site, they could question the safety issues or anything of that nature.
Mhm.
But I don't think parking is gonna be a big issue in the OPD, because the only two office buildings have enormous amounts of parking. If anybody, they do have vacancies, both of them have vacancies, but they have enormous amounts of parking.
Mhm.
It seems like a reasonable use of those spaces. I mean, they're using them in that way, as it turns out, and has not been an issue.
Ms. Castro.
And Ms. Castro, can you tell us what the parking is for fitness centers?
That's what I was.
If you're gonna put a fitness center on the third floor of that building, you could have 100 people. You don't have 100 parking spaces.
It's per, I'll quote it.
Square foot, something like that.
These are Pilates studios type places. These aren't fitness centers.
He's not asking for Pilates, he's asking for a fitness center. If he wants to limit it to Pilates, that would be a different
Well,
discussion.
it's limited use.
Yeah, I see.
Right.
If a full-service fitness center came in, and that is a very good question, if a full-service fitness center came in and there wasn't sufficient parking in accordance with your regulation in the site, it wouldn't be, you can't, just because you're a P doesn't mean you are eliminated from other regulations, the parking regulations.
Right.
So, for example, if somebody wanted to take out an entire floor and, of it and turn it into a fitness center, then the staff would have to look at whether or not there is sufficient parking for that square footage of a fitness center.
So
And,
somewhere in there, we have a definition for that, apparently, for parking. Yeah,
But
I'm not,
keeping in mind, that's a major stretch for staff to interpret that they would approve without conversations with the commission, or at least the chair, to approve a full service fitness center.
The regulations for parking start in the book in section 4, page 7. They're broken up. The first 9 are clearly defined for residential, public, and semi-public use. And those include, besides dwellings, community residences, home occupations, a professional office and a dwelling unit, places of worship, and lodges and clubs, country clubs, swim clubs, and similar recreational uses, hospitals, convalescent homes, nursing homes, and similar facilities. Then there's another whole category called commercial and industrial sales, service, and manufacturing uses. It goes from art gallery all the way through, that's number 136 is wholesale. There isn't a specific one, as far as I can tell, for a fitness center, and I'm just glancing through to see if it's referred to under a different name, but no, I don't see anything that refers to it. At, I don't know if there's been any adjustments to this that may not be reflected in my zoning book, which is from when I started in 2005. So.
It's be hard cutting those rocks out.
I'm trying to find where we did this one here.
Commissioner, I have a question on the fitness centers. Can they be private? You know, in other words, if a company has a fitness center now, can they sell that and be private for the general public?
Well, I'm not aware of any of the office buildings that still have exclusive use fitness centers. I think most of them are.
No, Mr. Cinto does.
Oh, okay. I mean, I suppose then he could, but he's in a PDD, I think.
Yeah.
So I suppose he could open it up to the general public.
Yeah, I mean, no, you have a lot of office buildings now that do have fitness centers. And what would happen, like an apartment building or something where they have a fitness center? Would they sublease that?
Most apartment buildings, first of all, that doesn't apply to that.
No, I know that.
That zone. I mean, yeah, but most apartment buildings that have fitness centers, those are for the tenants. The occupants, those are not open to the public, and I doubt if they would. I think the tenants would be told.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the point about it's hard if you start going down every use, it's having to specify what.
No, I'm just wondering because, you know, you take a lot of the just basic fitness centers. And the parking is outrageous in most of the time. At certain hours.
And at certain times of the year.
Yeah,
January.
absolutely.
In PDD 2, where the fitness edge is located, the requirement was 5.4 spaces per 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, you got it.
Right. So,
So that would be looked at if somebody came in, wanted to put a fitness center in the situation.
Yeah, but what?
Well, the
Something
full
of that
fitness
magnitude
center.
staff would not review.
You're right, that's a full fitness center.
Right, that's not the intent
Not
here.
within a PDD, that would be something that would be referred out.
Well, going back to Commissioner Harger's comment, we don't have a definition for limited fitness center. I personally don't see any reason why you couldn't just allow a fitness center within this definition and leave it to the definition we have for a fitness center.
I think that would be appropriate if you got the word full service. I mean, that's the reason why I put
Drop the
limited
word,
service.
drop the word limited. Or drop the-
No.
We don't have a definition for limited.
What exists right now is full service. So when I saw full service, I was distinguishing it from that. If you just said a fitness center, and therefore you just go to the definition and any one of those items would qualify as a fitness center, that would be fine. You wouldn't need it, but it says full service fitness center.
Mhm.
So if you take out full service and just use fitness center, you already have a definition of it.
But you're
You don't need limited.
impacting other zones.
Huh?
You're impacting the definitions now in other zones.
Well, yeah, because I think you do have some full service, you have the edge. I don't think you have any other. full
Planet
service.
Fitness.
Huh?
Planet Fitness.
And Planet Fitness. You have the
No.
edge.
Orange
Planet-
Theory.
Full services, in a lot of the places, what you have is you have, I mean, it's a PDD, but in Fountain Square, you have Stretch Lab, you have others that have Pilates or yoga studios.
Mhm.
They would be perfect tenants to go into office buildings, and the smaller office buildings which are suffering. The problem is you have full service. So the indication would be, well, you gotta be a full service fitness center, you have multiple, things that are like
Machinery, so on and so forth.
in your definition, and I think, yes, it should be cleaned up. And you could certainly clean it up by looking at the conjunctions in the definition and throw a few ors in, or they explain or state any one of these, but you don't need limited service in my change, if you take out full service. And just say fitness
Just
centers.
Fitness center,
Just say fitness center,
Yeah,
which we do have a definition for.
right,
And it includes Pilates, yoga,
right.
those.
Scott, does that make sense on your end?
Yeah. That's better.
So that addresses the line in 16A and 40.
Hmm.
41, right?
41 has to do with medical.
We already, I think we already fixed that part.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We addressed the two lines, correct? Those are the only two lines.
And what was the change to 41, medical and dental?
Clinics
Clinics?
and office
And
and
office.
related services.
We're gonna leave it that. Okay.
Okay. Any commissioner have any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to clarify for line 41, there isn't really any change as Attorney Thomas just read it. Medical and dental clinics and offices and related services? Is that
And
the
that's
final?
change,
The change.
What?
relate, that's the change, related
Yeah, I know.
services.
And that's what it was. I thought there was a comment that it had been changed. But we had discussed changing the word to providers, but that did not go through.
Correct.
I could follow that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. We'll move to no, if there's no further questions, I will open this to the public. We will start with those attending in person. If anyone in the auditorium would like to be heard. Ms. Castro, is there anyone in the auditorium who signed up or like to be heard?
No.
Okay, is there anyone who is on Zoom or *9 who has indicated they'd like to be heard?
No.
Okay. Mr. Thomas does not need to respond to any comments. How would the commission like to proceed regarding the public hearing portion? Like,
Should we close the public hearing, Mr. Chairman?
okay,
Second,
second. All in favor to close the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. Motion passes to close the public hearing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will prepare a resolution, correct?
I have a draft. If
Okay,
one of the
perfect. With those changes we just discussed,
Yes,
okay?
I just put them in.
Okay.
Application 2606, application of TJT Capital Investments LLC, CO Attorney Dominic Thomas, 315 Main Street. Move this along. Public hearing date, March 11th, 26. Modifying Article 24, Schedule A, line 16A and 41. Purpose is to amend the uses to the Office Park District zone, which are compatible with the existing uses in the OPD and the existing buildings when the OPD was established. Commission findings is that the application was submitted in accordance with section 51 of the zoning regulations. I left this here in case anybody wanted to add anything else. After completing discussion of the application, the commission directed staff to prepare a resolution for action by the commission on the basis of findings and concerns noted above. Following resolution is offered. Whereas the applicant TJT Capital Investments LLC has submitted a complete application for a zoning regulation text amendment to Article 24, Schedule A, line 16A and 41 of the Shelton zoning regulations. And whereas the purpose of the proposed amendment is to add uses to the Office Park District zone, which are compatible with existing uses in the OPD and the existing buildings when OPD was established. And whereas the commission held and completed a duly noticed public hearing on March 11, 2026, during which hearing the applicant presented its proposal. And whereas the commission is familiar with the applicable provisions of the Shelton zoning regulations and has reviewed and discussed the subject proposal in detail, and subject to the comments and findings set forth above, the commission notes the following. Application complies with applicable zoning requirements and provisions of the Shelton zoning regulations. All necessary referrals have been made in accordance with section 51 of the zoning regulations. The proposed uses are compatible with existing uses within the Office Park District and with the uses for which the OPD was established. Now, therefore, on the basis of the findings and concerns noted above, the various representations made at the public hearings and other discussions of the commission, Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission, in accordance with provisions of section 51, hereby takes the following action: to approve with modifications, or deny the application for zoning regulation text amendment with the following amendments to Article 24, Schedule A of the Shelton zoning regulations. Schedule A, line 16A, there's the existing text, and the amended text shows fitness centers, removing the word full service and changing the existing use code from X to P. And in line 41, we are adding in and offices and related services and changing the existing code from X to P. If approved, said adoption of the zoning regulation text amendment is set forth herein shall become effective as of 8 a.m. on March 27th, 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Castro.
Chair, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes,
Thank you. So I just noticed, so we're taking out the full service fitness center and just doing fitness center. Are we also going to change the definition? Because I see we have definitions for fitness center, full service, and fitness center accessory use, but not just fitness center.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite of that.
I'm looking at section 514 in the definitions.
That would be logical.
Goodness. Going around.
fitness center.
Okay, so that's the revised definition. Okay. So we're gonna get rid of fitness center, full service, and it's just gonna be fitness center.
Which is defined. Yeah,
Yeah, so right at the beginning, after the underscore, it would just jump to a fitness center is
defined
defined
as.
as, yeah.
It's not the change that was proposed, though.
This
No,
is,
That
no.
definition change was not proposed,
this is what was approved in September.
and it
Right.
says full service.
Mhm.
Yes. Referring, and that's what Commissioner Harter is saying, remove full service.
That wasn't proposed by the applicant. He was only proposing the text changes in the section, not the text
Right.
change definition. So you gotta have a separate hearing.
Yes, absolutely. I was just gonna bring that up.
Just to change that word?
Yes,
Well, then leave it because it's a definition for a fitness center. And we're saying you could put a fitness center.
It would have to be on, if you change this, it would have to be on another public hearing. But
it's a separate matter altogether.
yeah, as
Right.
this is, the definition starts with fitness center, this goes into full service. We can address that at a future meeting,
Mhm.
April meeting.
Okay,
But that means we don't have a definition to match the permitted use schedule for that period of time. So no applications can happen.
For 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't see it that way. We have a definition for a fitness center.
And the first two words say full service.
So what?
We don't have a
Seriously.
definition.
Seriously, I just don't
Because it's
see.
not gonna match the
make an issue.
standards chart. Commissioner Amato, it won't match the standards chart. That was before us tonight, the two lines, line 16A.
It's a
Hmm.
simple enough change that we can schedule it we could schedule it for the April meeting.
Okay.
okay. Thank you. If you can get that on the agenda for the 25th.
So we can.
I have one other point about the resolution that I think the words "was directed" should be struck in the sentence that talks about staff was directed to prepare a resolution. This resolution was not directed, the staff wasn't directed by the commission, maybe the chairperson and everything, but that's, I think we're overstepping if we're not being correct if we state it like that. And we've had things prepared beforehand, and presented at a meeting, but this is the first time we're seeing it, and we did not, after discussion and closing everything, we did not come to a consensus for staff to prepare a resolution, so I don't want it to be misleading for the general public.
You have a proposal for how to reword that?
Yeah, I was just saying, strike the two words, "was directed." Staff prepared a
Okay,
resolution, that's all.
yeah.
Page I'm on. Which page is it on? Which,
So it was towards the beginning, I think, after the explanation or the comment about what the application was all about.
where did it say staff presented a prepared resolution?
Yeah, staff prepared a resolution.
Right, we didn't vote like we'll get a consensus, that's Jimmy's point.
Okay. All set?
Yeah, and then we will do approve with modifications. Is that what we're doing? We made modifications, so.
Correct.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so. Text was changed after completing discussion. Staff presented a prepared resolution for action by the commission. And
Whoa,
the,
back up, Ms. Castro. You got an extra couple words there. After completing discussion, staff presented a resolution. Not take out a prepared. Staff presented a resolution. There you go. Yep. And then what was the other thing that, with you brought up about modifications, and there you go, to approve.
so this was to approve with modifications. This was the existing text. I changed the word amended to approved text, approved use. Approved text and approved use for both lines.
Mhm.
All set?
Yeah. If anybody else
Okay.
has anything else?
Anyone, any other comments? Anyone like to make a motion for approval?
Can I, sorry, let me, if I can suggest an edit based on Commissioner Apple's point, we'll do a B, that it would be a condition that applications not be reviewed until the definition is changed.
Is revised.
Mm.
Well. They can be accepted, they just can't be reviewed.
If you accept them, doesn't that start a clock?
Applications for COC don't have the similar timelines.
Do they have a clock?
Not officially. There's a typical time, but there's not a standard law that it needs to be done by a certain time. And this one would only be a couple weeks.
So we're not in jeopardy of something by lack of action automatically put it into effect, basically.
Is that worded okay? Condition that until the definition of fitness center is revised by the Planning and Zoning Commission, applications for a certificate of zoning compliance under use line 16A are unable to be reviewed for approval.
Yes.
So that doesn't hold up approval of the text change. That only
Correct.
means that any business proposal under those new change, they have to wait till we change that definition,
Correct.
Yes.
which won't happen until April.
Yes,
Next,
so the effective date of this wouldn't be until March 27th. So we're only asking for 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
it'll be on the next meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the text change
is
Yes.
there a,
that's set forth in the resolution.
Let me ask a question, because I'm confused, so. To change the fitness center, you're not gonna take out full service,
We are,
yes,
Yeah,
but doesn't. So how do you distinguish that this is not a fitness center with all of those things? It's only
You don't.
you're
limited.
not.
you don't.
So why don't you isn't it easier to just put it that as limited fitness center?
We don't have a
we don't
definition
have
for a
the
limited
definition.
fitness center.
But
one
then
way or the
add a
other.
limited, add another in that definition of fitness center, add another paragraph to describe a limited.
Currently, we don't have any full-service fitness centers outside of a PED, so this doesn't actually affect on a large scale. We
Okay.
have yoga and Pilates, but they're all in a PDD.
Okay.
Okay, so back, Commissioner Motto made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Ms. Castro, will you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cristiano,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Harcher,
Aye.
Commissioner Apple.
No, and I'm voting no because there's no other permitted as of right uses in an OPD, and I don't believe we should start with these.
Commissioner McGee,
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-1. Okay, moving on to next, is new business. The following applications have been submitted and require acceptance and scheduling of a public hearing. First is application 26-08 PDD number 60-255 Canal Street. 255 Canal Street, Shelton LLC at 255 Canal Street, Assessors Map 129, Lot 16 for a major modification to a PDD proposing 48 two-bedroom residential units with on-site parking in site section E and an amendment to the standard of uses and standards. Move to accept application 26-08 and set a public hearing. All those in favor of approving the sign application as recommended, I'm sorry. Move to accept the application 2808 and set a public hearing.
Mr. Clerk, Chairman, before we make a
Yes.
motion, are all of the points of the application have been met by the applicant, or are there
Yes, ma'am.
items missing?
Is this Canal Street?
Yes,
Yes.
They're all there.
yes.
Okay. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. This will be down for a public hearing on March 25th. Next is application 2609, zone map change, 276 Leavenworth Road. Quantanta Building. Okay. and
Quaranta.
Quaranta and
Yeah.
Building and Renovation LLC at 276 Leavenworth Road, Assessor Map 151, Lot 1, for a zone map change from R1A to R1, area plus or minus 3.3 acres. Ms. Castro, is that all the components of the application in?
Yes.
Okay. Accept a motion to accept the application 2608 and set it for a public hearing.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And that will be set for a public hearing on March 25th also. Next is application 26-10 PDD 91 re-subdivision at 745-801 Bridgeport Avenue, Dominic Thomas for F&S Shelton LLC at 745-801 Bridgeport Avenue for a re-subdivision of Lot 3, creating lots 3A and 3B, with Lot 3B being the building identified as number 779 Bridgeport Avenue. Is that, Ms. Castro, is all the paperwork in? I know it's just a
Yes.
subdivision of a existing at Fountain Square, correct? Everything's in? Okay, I move, I accept a motion to accept application 2610 and set a public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 6-0. That will be also down for March 25th public hearing. Next item on the agenda is minutes for approval. Just want to indicate there's been some delay on the commission reviewing these minutes to confirm what, if anything, needed to be revised. So as a reminder, minutes are only intended to be a short summary of events rather than a verbatim transcript. After consulting with counsel, the minutes adequately explain to the reader actions taken and resulting outcome. And if an issue arises as to the exact action on a topic, tapes and videos are available for review. The following minutes are presented for approval. We're going to go in order by date. December 10th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Does any commissioner have comments or corrections on these minutes?
You're okay with me?
Okay, hearing no comments or questions, I'd like to accept the motion for approval of December 10th, 2025 minutes.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in
Commissioner
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next is January 14th, 2026, regular meeting minutes. Does any commissioner have any comments or corrections on those minutes?
I do
Hearing,
not. No.
okay, hearing none. Does any commissioner like to make a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion, Commissioner Matto.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next is February 11th, 2026, special meeting minutes. Does any commissioner have any comments or corrections on the minutes for that meeting? Hearing none, accept a motion to approve the February 11th, 2026 meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, hearing no opposed, motion passes. Last is February 11th, regular meeting, February 11th, 2026, regular meeting minutes. Does any commissioner have any comments or corrections on those meeting minutes?
Make a motion that they be accepted.
Okay, is there any seconds?
I'll second for approval.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes pass. Next up is comments from the chairman. I have the only comments I'd like to make is there's continuing conversations and review of the smoke shop subcommittee's progress, and I hope to have some information soon on that. Commissioner Motto, do you have any thing you'd like to say from the sign subcommittee?
Sure, just a few words. We met with Alexandra to review some revisions on the sign regulations. So Alexandra and before her, Alex Rossetti were keeping track of the things that became problematic in terms of enforcement, where the regulations were not specific enough or not correct. So she's done a good job, a lot of work on making some changes, and we spent a good deal amount of time in review. We've made a few comments that have been incorporated back into those revisions. And I believe they're at the point where they would now go to you, Chairman, and to our Corporation Council for review of some technical matters. So they'll come back to us again. We'll go over it all again at some point.
Thank you. Next is comments from staff. Ms. Castro, do you have any comments?
Not at this time.
Okay. Mr. Ganji, you have any comments? No? Okay. Seeing there's no other business, I will call this meeting adjourned at 7:20.